Hello guys, welcome back to this series where we are making this MERN stack application called Party RSVP app. So what we have done is this UI was the first part, and then we started working on the logic of the application. So this table is working fine, so it is showing us the correct numbers and dynamically, and then these styles for these tags or labels, they are coming dynamically, and then plus for this confirmed check mark, it is the style is dynamic. Okay, and the other two things, these two filters, this show and hide and plus this search filter, this is working fine. So this is what we have done so far in this part, client side part, which is React application. Okay, so next what I want to do is basically add, remove, update our guests. So I want to start from adding guests, so let's start working that. So before we start, you know what I'm going to say: subscribe, yeah, if you haven't already, please. Thank you. Alright, so remember, please subscribe, so this will motivate me to generate or create more videos and on JavaScript and maybe on React as well. So this is one application, by the way. I should be talking about React anyways. Okay, so let's go back to VS Code. So where is our VS Code? So we're gonna go into this source folder and then into our component folders and in our guests. Alright, so where we going? We are going to add, so we need to go into this guest form. Alright, so in here in this component we are going to use another hook, and this is going to be another new hook in this project, so which will be use state. Okay, so what are we going to do? This state would return an object, and then whatever we want to name it, so we can, in our case, we can just name it guest, and then function to change it. So usually it is set guest. Okay, and then we can do use state, and then we need to pass the initial values, and the initial values we're going to pass is basically name. By default, by default it is going to be empty, and then the other one we would name sorry, we would need is going to be phone, and then next we're going to put dietary, and by default I want to put non-veg. Alright, and okay, so once we done that, we're gonna do a bit of destructuring basically. So we're gonna go and grab name, phone, and dietary, and this is going to be of course from guest. Okay, from this, so initially this is going to be this. Okay, alright, so now we can put for this input, which is name, we can give a value. So we will give it a value, and the value would be this name, this name. Alright, and then the same for this, we're going to give a value, and the value is going to be phone. Okay, and for these ones, the value is gonna be these. The first for the first one is, it is going to be non-veg, veg, and pescatarian. Sorry, vegan. That was vegan. Okay. Alright, so but here we're going to mark it checked, but however we need to do a check, conditional check. Okay, so if dietary is equal to non-veg, then we want to mark it check, otherwise no. Okay, so that's that. And we also want to do an on change for each of them, so which we still have to create. So we will name it handle, if I can spell handle, handle change, I don't know, or other. And then we just need to copy paste for all of them. So handle change already done. Okay, here, and then this input as well, and save. So it's complaining about this handle change, which we, as I said, we haven't done yet, so let's just do that. So handle change, this is going to receive an event. Okay, and as I previously said, whenever we need to change this guest, we need to use this set guest, okay, the second argument. So we'll just do a set guest. Okay, oops, what I've done. Okay, so we need to do a set guest, so we're gonna grab a copy of guest, so whatever is already in there, so then whichever we want to change, so instead of doing name and then phone and then dietary, we're gonna go and do is basically e.target.name. Okay, and then we're going to set the value to e.target.value. Save it, and then we're going to create another function, and that would be on submit. And here we're going to do e.prevent default. Okay, we want to prevent on submit behavior of the JavaScript. Okay, and here for now what I'm gonna do is console log. Okay, so do console log, and what we want to console log is guest, and the next thing we want to do a set guest again and put it back to the default values, which are these ones. So I just copy these ones down here and save it. Alright, so where is our forms? We need to do on submit, and on submit is going to be on submit with the small s. Okay, and let's just go quickly and test it. So I'll just open up my console. By the way, don't worry about these warnings, we will fix these later. So I'll just put another name, rain Idris 11 and 4477, I don't know, pescatarian. Okay, yep, and just do that, and there we go, we have our guest here, so which has name, number and dietary. Okay, so say we do another one, I don't know, I'm just, so that would have that. The other thing which you would notice basically whenever we do submit, okay, and even if we select this one, it's gonna go back to this one just because we have marked it checked with this condition. Okay, so it's gonna go back because after the submitting, we are setting it back to non-veg. This is the only reason here. For now, it is the main reason, putting in a default value here, non-veg. Okay, so this is working fine. Now I'm gonna go back. I'll come back to this again because we don't want a console log. We want to add this guest to our UI. Okay, I'm just gonna close it, and then I'll come back anyways, and we're gonna go into our state. Before actually go to state, I want to go in here. Where is our why I keep getting lost? Okay, types. Alright, and in types we're going to export, and that's going to be const, and I'll just do add, maybe guest would make sense, and then just copy paste this, save it, and then we go back to our state, which is guest. Oops, not search, sorry guys. We have to go into our context, and then guest context, and then guest state. Add guest, and now we're going to put this action above all of those, the existing one. Okay, and here we will name it add guest, and this would receive a guest which we just done. Okay, and here actually I'm gonna go and do guest.id and use a bit of hack. Okay, so what we're going to do is give it a date and dot now. So this way it would have, oops, was it date dot now? So in this way all of those guests, they would have a different unique ID. We could use something like UUID, but I'm just being lazy, so I could this hack. Okay, so it would work anyways. So we will give an ID, and then we also want to give it is confirmed to false. Okay, so oops, what I'm doing, is confirmed to false, and then afterwards we want to do our dispatch, and in the dispatch we going to give a type, and the type is going to be add guest. Alright, and of course the payload is going to be guest. Okay, and that's done. And while I'm here, as we always do, I'm gonna go and put our add guest action here, and then we're gonna go into our reducer, and here I'm going to paste the add guest, and then we on the top of all of these I'm going to do this add guest case, and here what we want to return. So now we want to return a copy of state, of course, and then we want to with our guests we want to change them, not change, we want to add, we want to grab the copy of guests state dot guests, okay, the existing one, and then we want to put payload, whichever which would be the new one. Okay, so save it. Right, so now we have this add guest. So now we're gonna go back again to this guest form. As I previously said, I'll come back. So now here we will use context, and we also need to import our guest context. I'm pretty sure by now you all are familiar what is happening. Okay, so we're gonna go up up, and then into context, and then into guest context, and then into guest context.js. Okay, and then in here we're going to, what do we need? Add guest. Oh, sorry, add guest. This is the action, and then we're going to use our use context, and we'll pass our guest context. And now we have this add context available to us. So instead of logging out, I'm gonna remove this. Here we will call our guest, sorry, add guest, and we will pass guest. Okay, and I hope this would work. So let's just try. So I'm gonna go and put Ren, which is my daughter's name, and 33, and then 88. I don't know, is it 4 8s? 1 2 3. Okay, I'm sleepy. Right, so just do a vegan and then add. There we go. She gets added. So actually it's just to a console log. So just, where is our state? The reason I just wanna, actually no, don't worry, because this should be okay. I was just wondering if we are getting the ID and stuff, but I'm pretty sure we are getting it okay. So that's that. So if we refresh, it's gonna go back anyways, I know this. Alright, so we have added. Next we want to do is delete. Alright, so let's just do that. So not quickly, I know I'm pretty slow actually. So I keep saying quickly, but I'm not very quick. Alright, so delete. So we will go back to our types.js, and then I'll just copy paste it down, and then change this to add to, probably remove. Okay, and then I'll just copy this and then go back to state, and then in our types, and save it, and then we're going to go under this add guest, and we are gonna go and create a new one, remove guest. Okay, and this would receive an ID, because we would need the ID, okay, to remove the guest. Right, here we're gonna go and do our dispatch again, and in this time we're going to give it a type of remove guest. Alright, and the payload is gonna be ID, which we are going to pass. And as always, we're gonna go and put our action here, which is remove guest, and do the comma, and next gonna go into this guest reducer, and then we will paste our type, and then just under this add guest, I'm going to go and create a new case, which is going to be remove guest, and here we're going to return copy of our state, existing state, and then we want to set our guests to state dot guests, and we want to do a filter here, and in this filter we're going to check if guest guest dot id is not equal to payload, which will be passed, which will be an ID of that guest. Okay, so we are filtering that guest out of the guests. Okay, so we are returning which has which they don't match this condition. Okay, so that's that. So we are done with this. We already, I'm pretty sure I did, but I'm just double checking. Remove guest. So where we want to have this, so this is here, so which is our guest .js. okay, so as I said previously, we would need ID, so now we will just grab ID. okay, right, so we already oops, so we have other things but we didn't have ID, so I'm just putting the ID now. So now we need to use our action here, so this is why we would need to use context again. So of course we need to import our guest context, and that's going to be from context, and then guest context, and then guest context.js. okay, I keep saying JS just to make it I should have named it different, but anyways, and here we need to grab remove guest. Alright, so that's going to be use context, and then we're going to pass our guest context. okay, alright, and here I could just go down here, where is it, okay, here, and put on this button an inline, but for some reason because I would need it later as well, so I'm gonna go and create a function here, handle remove. okay, right, so why I keep doing this, why so handle remove, and in here we will call our remove guest, and we will pass the ID. alright, so now we going to, where is remove one, I believe this is the one, so on click, we're gonna do on click, and here we want to do our handle remove. And why I'm not doing the inline one, I will show you this later, because we would need this handle remove anyways, and for few other things as well. okay, so let's just test it. So if we just click this, see what happens. So it is gone, that's gone, that's gone, which is great. okay, if we refresh, they're gonna come back because they are hard coded, so they are not still stored into database or something like that. So let's just test our ID thing, because before I was slightly concerned if that is working or not. So say if the ID, so yep, so it is working fine, it is. So now we can remove. Next I want to update, so we have to do two things. We have to mark it confirmed when we do this, so we need to toggle is confirmed, and then we also need to do this, when we click this, it should get put into form, and then we can update it. okay, so let's go back and see which one we can do first better. So I believe doing this confirm to true to false, false to true would be easier, so let's just do this first instead of doing the other update. So we're gonna go into types, and in types I'm gonna go and copy paste these down, and then we here I'll rename this to update guest and save it, and then we go back to our state, and here I'll just bring this update guest as a type, and next I'm gonna go down just this remove guest, and I'll put cost update guest, and which will of course receive guest. And then we going to do a dispatch here, and for the dispatch the type is going to be update guest. Okay, and payload would be of course the guest. Right, so actually I'm just gonna put some comments here. So this is add guest action, and this is going to be remove guest action, and that's update guest. Alright, so just for now. Alright, so now while I'm here, so what I'm gonna go and grab this update guest. So just do it here. So probably just add, remove, and I'll do the update one here. Update guest, comma, and next I'm going to go into our reducer, and here we're going to of course bring in our update guest type, and next we're going to go into our switch, and here probably after this remove case we're going to put our case for update guest. Right, if that's the case, then we're going to return a copy of state as we always do, and then here we're going to do guests, and the guest we are going to do is state dot guests, and we want to do a map on those guests, and for condition we are going to see if guest dot id matches the payload dot id, because that would be the whole guest too. Okay, then if that's the case, what we want to do is basically return payload. Otherwise we want to return guest as it is. Alright, so this is our reducer, and I'm gonna go close it, and now we are gonna go into back in this guest.js, because we want to call this update guest when we click this confirm. Alright, so let's just bring in update guest, which is going to be here, update guest, and for this time I'm gonna go and use inline function. So where is it? Okay, so we want to put on this input, and we're gonna go and do an on change, and as I said, this is going to be an inline one, so we will just do here, and we will call our update guest, and we will pass, no, actually not in, I'm sorry, no, we don't want to do this, because this is gonna look really messy. So instead I'll just do a handle maybe is confirmed, because we are just changing this is confirmed or is confirmed, whatever. So yeah, sorry, I changed my mind, because I think it's gonna look really messy if it is inline. Okay, so instead what we're going to do is handle is confirmed, and here we want to call our update guest, and as we have guest here available, so what we want to return is basically an object, and we want to return a copy of guest as it is. However, we want to return is confirmed to the opposite of whatever is confirmed right now. Okay, so this will just return the guest, the remaining properties and values same, apart from this is confirmed, and this is going to be the opposite. If it is true, this is going to be false. If it is false, this is going to be true. Alright, so I hope this is making sense. So let's just try this. we go back and we click this. There we go. So if it is right now for this one it is false, so if we click it is true, false, true, false, so it is changing here. So if we click here and if we just add a new one, I'm sorry, I'm not typing proper name, I'm just giving an example, but here we go. So it is working fine, the style is getting changed, so even if we remove this, so it's gonna work. So alright, so we can add, remove, mark it, confirm. So next we want to, when we want to what we want to do is basically when we click this edit username icon, what we want to do is basically grab these values and put in here in our form, and then we just update it from there. Okay, and we can change as well. So let's just go back and do that. So for this we need to go back to state, and in this state we need to put a new we can just I think I'll just say edit able, I don't know I'm just making it up. So we will, it's kind of as we did with the search. Okay, so we're gonna put editable, just the default is going to be null. So when we basically when we click here, what we want to do is grab those values and put in here. Okay, whatever is that, so we just want to put it here. Okay, so once this has something, then after we want to do a if condition, and then we will check if it is not to null, then we will put that value back in this form. Okay, so yeah, I know it is hard to explain, but let me just show you what I'm doing. So what we have here in the state is editable, another property, and value is null, initial value is null. So just save it, and I'm gonna go into types first, and then here just I don't know, I'll just copy paste down, and then we will change this to, again I'm thinking because I'm making it up okay, so because we are going to edit, so probably edit guest, I'll just change this to edit guest, but we would need another one. So we would say change this to clear underscore edit. Okay, so we change these two. So go back to our state, and then we're gonna go and bring those in. So edit guest and then clear edit. So for these two we need another two methods. So we're going to use update eventually to update the guest. Again the same method we will use to update the guest. However, we need to use edit guest and clear edit to put editable in the value in this editable, and remove as well. Okay, so this is what it is doing. Alright, so here we're gonna go and create a new, I do a lot of types guys, I'm sorry. And here we're gonna say, we'll make it up, we'll say edit edit guest, and alright, and then we of course we need to, we would have a guest, and here we will just say dispatch, and for dispatch type is going to be edit guest, and then the payload would be definitely of course our guest. Alright, so I'll just copy paste this one and change this to maybe clear edit, edit, and then this won't have any payload, so we're gonna remove it, and then we change this from edit guest to clear edit type. Okay, and save it. So while I'm here, I'm just gonna go and put these two actions in our value so we can use them. So add update maybe just below this update. So I'll just do the first edit guest, and then clear edit. Okay. Alright, so I also wanna grab our edit table, because otherwise I would have to come back again. So but we would need this one. Alright, so that's going to be state and then edit table. Alright, save it. So all these three things are available now, so we can use them. However, we are gonna go in our reducer first and handle these. If it is edit, so edit guest and also clear edit, sorry. So let's just actually go just below this update guest, and here we're gonna go and do our edit guest. If that's the case, what we want to return is of course, as always, copy of state, and then here as I put this editable, we wanna set the value of editable to payload. So payload, and while I'm here I just want to do actually don't have to copy paste, instead I'll just do the clear edit. And sorry guys if my voice is low, I'm sorry, because got sore throat. I don't know why I decided to do this while I'm sick, but I was just excited to show it to you guys. Alright, I'm sorry, I'm talking and I'm typing as well. Anyways, we are doing our clear edit, and here we are returning the state, and then we are basically just resetting this editable back to null. Okay, so editable, and then we will put it back to null. So that's that. So we have two more cases. Okay, edit guest and clear edit. So this will put the payload into editable, and this will remove the payload actually and put the null back in editable. Okay, very simple, nothing complicated. So I'll just close this for now. Now we need to call this these methods. So edit and clear basically. So let's just do the edit first. Okay, so what we want to do is basically come over here and grab our is it edit guest. Okay, and then if that's the case, I'm sorry what I'm saying. Okay, we have our edit guest, which is our action, and this section, where is it? Here. So we want to have this on click, and which is going to be when we click this icon. Okay, and this is going to be this button. So we want to do an on click here, and here we want to pass an inline, and inline we're going to say is edit guest, and we just want to pass the guest. Okay, the whole guest. Alright, because we just want to grab that. So what this will do when what this will do when I click this button, this will, at the moment we can't see it, but this will put the values of the guest into this editable. Okay, and the next thing what we want to see is basically we want to go back in this form. I don't know what happened here. So, and we want to go back into this guest form.js, and in here we want to grab that editable. Okay, so we want to say edit table. Is it edit able, and for now I just want to quickly do see if edit table is not null, then console log. I'm just checking it. Okay, edit table. Alright, so let's just quickly see if this is working fine. Okay, console, see, so we are getting our guest. Okay, alright, so I want to get rid of these. So this is basically saying value is with the capital V, so we shouldn't have these. I think I have a typo here, so change this to V to small v. Keep forgetting this to fix. No, we shouldn't. There we go, those warnings are gone. Okay, so now if I click this, see, I'm getting this. So but we don't want a console log. Instead where I keep forgetting this. So instead I'm gonna remove this, and here we are going to import another hook which is called use effect. Okay, this is going to be not entirely, but similar to component did mount. So I'll show you how basically we use it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is basically just go above this, and here I'm gonna go and use context, use effect, and this is going to take a inline. Okay, and here if we want to check if the same condition basically we just did for console logging. So if edit table is not equal to null, then what we want to do is basically call this set guest. Okay, so set guest, but we want to set it to guest. Alright, so not guest, sorry, editable. So editable. Alright, so because this will not be null, so it will be available here. So we just want to set this guest initially. Instead of this, we want to set it to this. Okay, or otherwise it's going to be, we're going to do an else, and here we will do the same thing. Alright, so we just did it down here. We will just do the set guest, which is basically default. Okay, and we will just paste it here, and with this use effect we need to pass the dependencies. Okay, otherwise it's gonna give us error, never ending loop basically. So the dependency is going to be this editable sorry, editable, and this is what happens when you make up stuff while you are making the video or recording. Okay, so let's just go back and test it. So what is happening here? Let me just refresh. Okay, so no error, which is good. So if I click this, so it's get put in the form. Okay, which is good. Alright, so if I click this, that, however, this is a problem when I click this and with the non-wedge, see this option or radio button gets highlighted. However, if I click the other two, the radio button the other two radio button don't get selected, and the reason is that because we have only one condition. Okay, so what I'm gonna go, and for this checked, I'm gonna go and copy paste this and here and change the value to vegan. So vegan, and then we're gonna copy paste for this one as well and put the value to pescatarian. So instead of typing, I'm just gonna be copy paste. Alright, so now if oops, sorry guys. Okay, so that's that. So let's just want to close this console log. So now if I click this edit, so that works. Okay, so it gets selected. Alright, so we don't just want to put it into this form, so we basically wanna click this button, okay, and then when we click this, we want to update the guest. Okay, now if we click this, it's gonna get added. Alright, without they both are same. If I remove, because they both have the same ID, okay, if I remove one of them, they both gonna get deleted. Alright, even though, say if we update, even though I just do this, it's gonna put this and this. Alright, it is updating, but they both have the same ID. Okay, if we click this, so it's basically adds a new one. It doesn't update the existing one. Okay, we don't want to add put here and then add. Okay, we basically want to update the existing one. Okay, so let's just do that. So for now we can just we can grab the value and put it back in the form, but when we click it, it adds a new one, okay, with the same value or whatever, but our purpose is to update the existing one. Okay, so let's just do that quickly. So we're going to go up here, and in our state, in our guest state, what we have is basically those two, edit guest and clear edit actions. So we're gonna grab those two. Okay, so let's just bring them in here. So sorry, that's update guest and clear guest. Okay, update guest and then clear edit. I keep saying clear update, or I don't know for some reason. Alright, so edit, so I just double check with the names. So clear edit and update guest. Okay, so these two what we need. Okay, alright, so we're gonna go back here. So since we have this update guest, so what we can do is when we click this submit here, we want to check the we want to check, and if we want to check if edit table is not equal to null, the same condition. Okay, then what we want to do is, if that's the case, then instead of adding, we want to update the guest. Okay, so we will just call our update guest, and here we will pass the editable. Okay, no, sorry, we will pass the guest because we're going to change it. Okay, so we will pass the guest, and once we have updated the guest, then we want to call our clear edit. Okay, because we don't want to keep it in our form, so else we want to do whatever we've been doing already. So we will just grab this whole thing and copy X, remove X I don't know, cut and paste, sorry. Alright, so let's just try it now. So now if we just click this as Han, okay, and then we will change from Azhan Idris, I don't know, maybe from to Muhammad Azhan, okay, and then we change this non-veg from pescatarian and click this, so it's get updated. Okay, so before it was adding because we had add guest instead of update guest. So I'll just go back quickly and change this back to Azhan Idris again and put it back to maybe pescatarian. Right, and next what I want to do is basically when we click this edit button. I want to change this heading from invite someone to maybe to edit guest, and I also want to change this value of this button from add guest to update, and plus I want to get a button here which says cancel or maybe clear. And before I do that, I just noticed when we just click this, try to select this, it doesn't get selected, and I think the reason is because we have this pescatarian is different from this. So I'll just copy paste this, and we have the same spelling, so it matches our condition. Okay, so now if I just update, and now they get, okay, yep, they all get selected. Okay, which is good. Alright, so as I said, the first thing I want to change this invite someone. So here I'm gonna go and put curly braces, and here we're going to check editable is not equal to null. If that's the case, then we want to return edit guest, and else we want to return this invite someone. So I'll just cut and paste, and next we want to change the value of button. So I'm just gonna copy paste this, and we're gonna go down here and where our button is. So instead of saying add guest, here I'm gonna go and put curly braces and paste that whatever we, oops, sorry, he copy paste the curly braces already, so just remove this. Okay, and then if that's the case, maybe update guest, oops, too many typos here, update guest, otherwise we want to say add guest. Okay, which was before. Okay, add guest. And another thing which I want to do is basically get a button. So here I'm gonna put curly braces, and again editable and not equal to null. If that's the case, then we want to return an input, and we just close it, and the type of input is going to be button, and I'm gonna go and give some classes. So class name is going to be btn and clear, and these classes, sorry, clear, and these classes are coming from my css. Else we want to return null, so we don't want anything if that's not the case. And another thing which we want here is when we click this button, we want to happen something, so we need to call our clear edit. Okay, so if I just go back, and if we click this and see, oh, because sorry, I forgot to put the value for this clear button, so I'll just probably put it here. We can put it anywhere, so I'll just say cancel. Cancel. Okay, so now if I just go back, I don't know why I keep doing this. Okay, now if I go back and just refresh and edit, we get the cancel button. This gets changed, this gets changed, so we can definitely update the guest, and then yep, it is working fine. So I'm gonna go and actually edit it and put it back to pescatarian. Okay, so if we just decide not to update, we just can cancel it, and it will remove the details, and this form will be empty, back to default. Okay, so as far as our front end is concerned, I think we are pretty much done with our front end. The only thing which is left is kind of authentication and integration, which is kind of part of I think full stack application rather. So if you are just following along just for the client side, just for the React application, I think if we are done. So our application is working fine. We can add, update, remove, filter, alright, and plus our this table is working fine, so the whole application is working okay. And from the next video, what we're going to do is basically we're gonna start work on our backend, and once we're done with the backend, we will come back and do the authentication and integration, and then the project will be finished. And yep, the again what I'm going to say is subscribe. Yeah, please subscribe, this will help me a lot. And also, if you guys think there is a better way to do the same application, there's this where I can improve, please suggest. I would appreciate your feedback. As I keep saying, I'm new to this, and I'm self-taught, so plus I would appreciate your feedback, because we guys learn from each other. So thank you so much for watching and following along such a long videos. I know there are other guys and who are a lot faster than me, and they do teach really better than me maybe. So but I'm trying my best, and I hope if you are following along and watching these videos, I really appreciate that. Yeah, please like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next part. Have a great day or night, whatever time you're watching. Alright, have a good time guys. See you in the next part.